got some scary, scary news for y'all. So we've been following the various races that are going on with the midterms upcoming. And there's been some movement in a bad direction in Pennsylvania. So Josh Shapiro, the Democrat running for governor, is still holding a pretty strong lead over Doug Mastriano, who's an insane person, and he was there on January 6th, and he's a hardcore Trump supporter. That's the good news. The bad news is, as you can see on the screen here from the Cook Political Report, Pennsylvania Senate moves back to toss-up. This means Fetterman versus Oz is a toss-up. Oh boy. Oh, they got this thing locked. Come on, man. What are you doing? We'll just read the first paragraph or whatever. When we shifted our Pennsylvania Senate rating to lean Democrat about 6 weeks ago, we included this key caveat. Republican spending against Democratic nominee John Fetterman had yet to ramp up. And that while Republican Mehmet Oz still has a hefty problem with his own favorables, that, quote, it's not out of the question that this could move back to toss-up as the election nears. Now, with 5 weeks until Election Day, that's exactly where we find this race. In conversations with several GOP strategists and lawmakers who a month and a half ago had begun to put the Keystone State in the loss column, this has emerged as a margin of error race that they once again see winnable. Republicans and Democrats alike admit the race has tightened and that Pennsylvania could be the tipping point state for the Senate majority. Okay. So they go on to say you could barely see it here. It's very faded, but it says 4.1 point advantage for Fetterman at the moment. I saw a recent poll that had him up 6 points. Yeah, that is nothing. You cannot sleep on that. That's nothing. Okay? That's absolutely nothing. So, I got more bad news for you. They have massively ramped up spending for Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz, I think himself put 14 million or 17 million of his own money into this race. He just did it. That's damaging. The other thing that's damaging is now they're doing very targeted, very aggressive ads in Pittsburgh and some other places. And I think they're going after him on crime. I think they're going after him over some incident back in the day where he pulled a gun on somebody, and they're trying to use that in black areas because I think the person was black. So they're trying to make the argument like, oh, he's racist, bro. So they're going all in, man, and they're going to be aggressive. And I just need everybody to understand this. You cannot allow this stuff to go unanswered. Fetterman needs to flip the script and go on the offense, because one of the things that happened recently wasn't talked about much, but it was a real problem. Ilhan Omar almost lost her re-election race. And it's because she didn't spend any money on TV ads at all. I don't know why you would do that. Why would you forego TV ads? Like, that's a super important part of running for office. It's a weird thing. Lefties have this weird thing where they oftentimes think like, oh, just the on-the-ground work is the way to go. Like, we're just going to knock on doors. We're just going to do it from the bottom up. That is not the proven strategy. You can knock on as many doors as you want, but for the love of God, you got to do TV ads. You got to send out the little flyer cards. You have to do it. And look, the person who's running Fetterman's campaign has been phenomenal to this point. Will they continue that streak? I hope so. I hope they got money in the bank. I hope they're going on the offense in their ads, because everything we learn about this guy, Dr. Oz, day by day gets worse and worse. I mean, we just learned, I covered the story the other day in a breaking news segment, 329 puppies died in Dr. Oz science experiments. What the fuck is that? What are you talking about? What is this? I mean, the dude's whole career has been that of a scam artist, of a fraudster, hawking so-called miracle cures that there's no evidence for, and then, of course, the only reason he's doing it is because he's getting big checks in order to do it. A guy who lied about how many fucking houses he has. Hey, Dr. Oz, how many houses do you have? Well, legitimately? What do you mean legitimately? What does that mean? Legitimately, we have two. Turns out he had 10. Fetterman, of course, was knocking him over the carpetbagger thing. Dude, you're from New Jersey. What are you doing here in Pennsylvania? But more importantly, the dude is a disaster on policy. What do you want? You want more tax cuts for the rich? You want more deregulation? You want more criminalization for petty drug use? Is that what you want? That's Dr. Oz. That's Dr. Oz. So, I just hope the Fetterman campaign has all their ducks in a row. Obviously, with the Warnock and Herschel Walker race right now, at least at the moment, it looks more favorable for Warnock based on the scandal with Herschel Walker paying for an abortion, as he says he's the most pro-life. And but you still never know. Even on that front, you never know. You never know. You got to run through the tape, because he did have his best fundraising day ever after this scandal, which shows you that to the right-wing base, all that matters is, like, are you triggering the libs? Oh, you are. Great. Like, in other words, it was proven that Herschel Walker lives the polar opposite of his stated values. He says abortion is murder, well, then he's a murderer. And the right's like, great, rock on. Send him more money today. Why? Yeah, you pissed off the liberals. You pissed off the liberals by killing babies, so now I like it when you kill babies. No logic. No logic whatsoever. All that matters is triggering the libs. So, in other words, even in a situation like that, it ain't over. Warnock's in a better position than he was the day before, but it ain't over. So, run through the tape. Holy shit, this is coming down to the wire. And, goddamn. Fingers crossed, dog. Fingers crossed. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.